We are going live to join about 6,200 youth from across Africa who are attending the virtual Erasmus Plus Scholarship pre-departure orientation organized for over 90 young Nigerians who were selected for the 2020 Erasmus Plus Scholarship to study in at least 2 European Union countries. Erasmus Mundus program is a European Union integrated international study program jointly delivered by an international consortium of higher education institutions with the aim of ensuring growth, jobs, social equity, and inclusion. The event is organized by the delegation of the European Union to Nigeria and ECOWAS.
Good morning, Honorable Minister of Youth and Sports Development, Mr. Sunday Dare. Good morning, the ambassadors of the member states of the European Union. And good morning, students and everyone, gentlemen of the press. You're all welcome to this wonderful occasion. So please, we'd like for you to relax and enjoy the day. I would like to welcome you, especially to the candidates, the selected students for the Erasmus Plus 2020 pre-departure orientation event. I am personally excited, and I believe you are also, because this is a dream come true. We have been looking forward to a day like this, when we would have this many number of Nigerians, young Nigerians being selected, that are selected for this prestigious scholarship. You know, with bated breath, you waited just as well as we waited for the selection processes to be over. And today we are happy. This is, when looking at all your beautiful and young faces on the screen, I'm personally excited because you are answers to prayers. And we kept hoping, and today we can see you all here. And we are really elated and happy to have you be part of this. And here today on a virtual event. How be it? We know that we will do our best and that you will be informed. Every one of you will be totally informed about what ought to happen and what you are. All information that you need to get for a day such as from this kind of event will be made available to you, because today really marks a significant milestone in your journey to becoming properly healed global individuals, enriched with a deep, broad, and an open mind, which is what exactly the Erasmus Plus program does to everyone who is privileged to be a part of it. You'll have the opportunity of knowing more about the European Union. You'll have the opportunity of engaging with the Erasmus alumni, you would meet member states of your countries of mobility, and you will be totally informed. That's one we promise you today. And for the young people that have joined us from all parts of Nigeria, today we are really hoping that you will be so fired up by the information you will be equipped with so that by next year, you'll be the one that we will be celebrating. This has been our prayer, that every single Nigerian that deserves this prestigious scholarship will get it.
Now I have the singular honor to call on the Honorable Minister of Youth and Sports Development, Mr. Sunday Dare, for his goodwill message. Honorable Minister, please, if he's there. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I listened to your opening remarks and I felt the energy of the Erasmus Plus program and of course the energy that must be within the hearts of all those that have been able to win this opportunity. Let me also just recognize quickly Ambassador Carlson, the head of the EU in Nigeria. Let me recognize the Erasmus Plus team and also all the beneficiaries of this great program. My mind this morning races back to my CD newsroom in Lagos, Ikeja, Lagos, Nigeria, about 1998. I was then a general editor of two national magazines, the News Magazine and Temple. Before then, I'd had about 9 years of journalism experience that traversed the country. And I was at a point in which I was looking for new opportunities to broaden and deepen my investigative skills as a journalist. I was directed to programs such as the Erasmus Plus program. This time it was the Freedom Forum journalism program for visiting scholar. I did apply. It was extremely competitive because journalists from across the world applied and only 12 were chosen every year. I've watched the previous videos that have played the testimonials of a number of Nigerians from Kaduna, from Jos, from Abeokuta, and it brings to mind the excitement that flew through me when I got that phone call. And then an email followed that you have won or you've been selected as one of those that will benefit from the Freedom Forum Journalism in Residence Scholarship. That began my 6 months visiting scholar experience at the New York University in New York, United States of America. Since the completion of that course, we also traveled all across Africa, all across America. My journalism career as a writer, investigative journalist, as a public speaker, took a different trajectory. And that trajectory led me to winning an academic scholarship to study at Harvard University 20 years ago. It led me 8 years later to also go to Oxford University, where I won another scholarship as an academic scholar in residence. So I feel really connected to this group this morning. And I must tell you that you are the lucky ones, like they say, the few chosen ones. So you must be grateful for this opportunity. And I am most delighted and honored to be in your midst this morning as the guest speaker at the pre-departure orientation for the Nigerian beneficiaries of the European Community Action Scheme for Mobility of University Students, Erasmus+. You must permit me to place on record that since 2014, when the program started in Nigeria till date, a large number of Nigerians have benefited. To attest to the high quality and value of this program, these Nigerians have been doing great exploits here in our country and indeed all over the world. Therefore, I want to commend the European Union for extending this wonderful opportunity to Nigerian youth, especially our young people, who are the hope and the future of our great country, Nigeria. The number of Nigerian students selected for the program this year is highly encouraging, and it signposts and also validates the fact that in Nigeria, our youth are resourceful. In Nigeria, we have innovative youth, and indeed, we have youth that have great potentials. I believe this will further strengthen our confidence in EU's strong commitment to expanding opportunities for Nigerians, especially the youth, who indeed are the future of our country. The Nigerian government under President Muhammadu Buhari, since its inception in 2015, has prioritized both the empowerment and the investment in our youth, working assiduously to create development opportunities for young Nigerians to excel in their endeavors, to upskill them in different skills areas, and to provide necessary credit and finance that can fund their innovative ideas and their enterprise. This is the reason why, for us this morning, as a country, it is heartwarming that the Erasmus Plus program has been a fulcrum to this commitment as we strive to secure the future and hope of the youth of our country, Nigeria. The Ministry of Youth and Sports Development, therefore, identifies fully with the noble objectives of the Erasmus Plus program because it aligns with the National Youth Policy goal of youth engagement and development as a veritable tool for social, political, and sustainable economic development. Therefore, I want to use this opportunity and this medium to implore the beneficiaries of this prestigious program that a lot lies on your shoulders. The expectations are high for you as individuals, but also the expectations from the country as our ambassadors. Much is expected of you, first as beneficiaries of the Erasmus Plus program, and secondly, as ambassadors of this great country. You cannot afford to fail because Nigeria in particular places so much hope and expectations on you as future leaders who would deploy the knowledge, skills, and experience to be garnered from this program to better the lot of Nigerians in terms of providing leadership and service delivery to our nation. You may recall that about 2 years ago, President Muhammadu Buhari signed the Young, Not Too Young to Run bill, which opened a window for our youth who are young to also be able to get elected into different political offices. No leader before Mr. President has shown such commitment in such a demonstrable way. And I think this should also be in your mind. Let me say that for the youth and the beneficiaries, this throws a serious challenge at you, as you must strive very hard to surpass the achievement of those before you, and of course, carve a niche for yourselves. In Nigeria today, quality leadership is more imperative than ever before in order to meet set goals and expectations of the citizenry. This program will definitely broaden your horizon, enhance your leadership capacity, and ability to deliver efficiently on your chosen endeavors. You must use the knowledge and skills to be acquired from this program to transform your society and, of course, Nigeria and the world at large. You must be fully prepared to face the challenges, and also remember that successful people never really give up or complain, but see challenges as opportunities and share them with others. As I earlier stated, you cannot afford to fall or fail or betray this trust and honor bestowed on you by the EU and by extension the Nigerian nation. Learning desires so much commitment in order to achieve the overall goal. You must strictly adhere to the rules and regulations of our host countries as law-abiding citizens to guarantee your stay and completion of the program. As ambassadors and representatives of Nigeria, you are expected to inspire others by showing good examples. I want to also advise that you be ambitious and do not be afraid to take risk, but recognize your strengths and limitations to adapt better in the future. It is only when you know your limits that you can fully maximize your potential. Encourage you that you cannot do or achieve your goal. You must work collectively as a team, stay connected to achieve a common goal, share notes of making Nigeria and the world a better place. On a final note, I want to reiterate that you use this golden opportunity to prove your worth to the world. Show them the Nigerian brand of integrity and confidence, and ensure that the trust that we have in you is not misplaced. Once again, I want to congratulate you all. I want to wish you a very successful experience as you embark on a journey to a better future. And millions of our countrymen will be looking up to you as role models. I want to thank you for your attention. Thank you very much, and good morning.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister of Youth, Sports and Development, Mr. Sunday Dare. The charge this morning is well received, I'm sure, by even us, the old ones, although I feel young again this morning. You know, the minister has charged us not to be afraid to take risks, never to allow anyone deceive you that you cannot achieve your dreams. We will be able to do. And I'm also elated that the minister also went through this kind of excitement at some point in his life. Thank you very much, sir. We appreciate you and your presence. And that tells us, and we should tell the rest of the youth, that the government really has your interest at heart. Thank you very much, sir. Okay, I expect that you clap from wherever you are, please. Just clap from wherever you are. Clap from wherever you are. Clap from wherever you are. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
So at the moment, I did promise at the opening that you would get to know a little bit about the European Union. So at the moment, I will call on the political officer of the European Union, Paulo Barroso, to give us an introduction to European Union.
Thank you very much, Hugo. Thank you for passing me the floor. And thank you also to the Honorable Minister of Youth and Sports and Development for the very inspiring speech. Congratulations to all the students that have been selected. It will be a wonderful period of studies for all of you in Europe. I myself had the opportunity to have 1 year of Erasmus, and in France, in Strasbourg at the time. And it was an unforgettable period, and you will see that you will learn a lot in terms of academic studies and also living in another country. I will do now a presentation on what is the European Union. So I will have an overview for you on the most important historical moments in terms of European construction, and then also I will pass in review the main institutions, also the main personalities, the main leadership in terms of European Union, and also a bit on the policies and competencies. I've prepared a presentation that I will put now on line. Hope it will work. So I would like to start with with this historical background of the European Union. So on the 9th of May, so the 9th of May, it's called the Europe Day. There was the Schuman Declaration, and in the Schuman Declaration, Robert Schuman was at the time the foreign minister of France, and he proposed the establishment of a European coal and steel community. and this became a reality in 1951 with the Treaty of Paris. So this was really an innovative idea to put in place 5 years after the end of the Second World War, a common market in coal and steel. So these were two important elements for the mining sector at that period. So the Treaty of Paris was signed by six countries. Sorry, 6 founding members. So Belgium, Netherlands, Luxembourg. So the Benelux countries, also Germany and France, and Italy. So it was really the ambition to secure peace in Europe after two world wars, one from 14 to 19, and then the Second World War from 39 to 45. So the 6 decided to follow the establishment of the common European coal and steel community. They decided communities, so the European Economic Community, that will create a common market for a big range of services and also goods. So these first years were very, very successful, and then we had the first enlargement in 73. So the first enlargement of the European communities. So the communities passed from 6 member states to 9 member states. So in the first enlargement, we have new countries like 3 new countries like Denmark, United Kingdom, and Ireland that entered the European communities. Then in 79, we had an important landmark, that is the election by direct universal suffrage of the European Parliament. So the European Parliament existed already since the beginning of the institutions in the 50s, but it was made up members of the parliaments, of deputies that were appointed by the national parliaments. And since 79, we have the direct election by the people of all member states to all the persons in Europe have a right to vote for their representatives in the European Union. In the slide, you could have seen this, the linkage between people, institutions, decision making. But maybe later we can circulate to the participants. The second enlargement of the European Union was in 1981. So it is the so-called enlargement to the southern countries, to the Mediterranean countries. So in 81 we have the enlargement to Greece, and in 1986 it's the enlargement to Portugal and Spain. So these southern countries, Mediterranean countries, they just had either revolutions or democratic transitions without a revolution, and they liberate themselves from the dictatorships that were ruling those countries. So this expansion of the communities to the south also implied new policies, so-called the regional policies and the regional programs. These were countries that were less developed compared with the northern partners. So there was a big input and increase in terms of regional policies there. Now coming to the 90s, we have the fall of the Berlin Wall, and then there is also a reshape of the European communities. So there was the unification of Germany. So we had larger country, Germany, so the Federal Republic and the Democratic Republic, so merged, and then we have also the fall of the Berlin Wall, and then also the dismantlement of the Soviet Union. So there is all these processes together with the globalization led to other enlargements. So before the big enlargement in 2004, we have in 95 an enlargement to Austria, to Finland, and to Sweden. So the European communities are made in 95 of 15 member states, and then so this is the fourth enlargement, and then in 2004 we had the big enlargement of 10 member states. Then this enlargement will be followed in 2007 by enlargement to Romania and to Bulgaria, and then in 2013, which constitutes the last so far, you have the exception of Croatia. Then, as you are aware, so in 2013, the European Union is constituted by 28 member states. So this has lasted until end of January this year. And as you might be familiar with, the United Kingdom by referendum in 2016 decided to leave the European Union. So there have been negotiations between the United Kingdom and the other member states, and from the 1st of February, the European Union is constituted by 27 member states. I would like now, after this historical evolution of the European communities, then transformed into the European Union with the Maastricht Treaty. This was also visible in the presentation. So, and also I would like to elaborate on the values and objectives of the Lisbon Treaty. So the Lisbon Treaty is it's a treaty that has followed the constitution. So there were negotiations to have a constitution of the European Union, but by referendum, the constitution was not approved in France and not approved by the Netherlands. So in 2007, on the 13th of December, the member states signed the Treaty of Lisbon. And in the Treaty of Lisbon, there are, I would like to show you in the screen the two articles on the values and objectives. So the Article 2, this unfortunately is not in the screen, but I will read it to you. So the Article 2, the Union is founded on the values of respect for human dignity, freedom, democracy, equality, the rule of law, and respect for human rights, including the rights of persons belonging to minorities. These values are common to the member states in a society in which pluralism, non-discrimination, tolerance, justice, solidarity, and equality between women and men prevail. The Article 3, also an article on the values and objectives, says that the Union's aim is to promote peace. So this, since the beginning, as I mentioned to you, since the 50s with the Schuman Declaration, is to promote peace, its values, and the well-being of its peoples. In terms of now, I would like to pass to the institutional structure of the European Union, where you have the different institutions and also the decision making of these institutions and the way they function in their everyday life. So the European Union is not a confederation, is not a federal entity. It's really these categories are not appropriate to define the European Union. It's really something, as you will see from its or you know already for sure, some of you from the institutional framework, is a unique reality, is historically unique reality. And also the decision-making system has evolved throughout the years. So if you study the decision-making process from the beginning of the construction of the European communities, you will see that in the beginning there were more decisions, much more decisions taken by unanimity. For a certain period, there was also the possibility of veto. Now you have the system. The European Parliament in the beginning was not co-deciding legislation with the Council like it is currently. It was mainly a consultation to the European Parliament. But since the Maastricht Treaty and now to almost all areas since the Lisbon Treaty, you have the same. So the European Parliament and the Council, they are in terms of decision making and in terms of adoption of legislation, they are at the same level as co-decision. So the European Parliament is, as I've said to you, since '79, is elected by direct universal suffrage by the citizens of the European Union. So the last election took place last year in 2019. So the Parliament is elected for a period of 5 years. So since the 1979, this is a very important aspect because taking into account the population of all the European countries. So the elections are taken. They take place at the same time in all European countries. So it's a huge democratic exercise, the election of the European Parliament. So the Parliament, and also in the presentation you will have the photos of the 4 big players. And concerning the European Parliament, you have the President of the European Parliament, which is David Sassoli from the European Socialist Party, the Socialists and Democrats. And he is elected for the President of the European Parliament is elected for a period of 2 years and a half. So now I would like to pass to another institution, so the European Council. The European Council is really the use. It's when there is a meeting of the European Council. Also, you as Nigerians have for sure seen this in your media. So it's worldwide. Seen by the media outlets, the meetings of the European Councils, normally with very important decisions taken, like the latest one on the multi-annual financial framework, which has decided for the budget of the European Union, the different amounts from the period 2021 to 2027. So the European Council is really the EU top political institution. The composition of the European Council are 27 heads of state and government. So most member states are represented at prime minister level, but some member states, like France, are represented at presidential level. So it depends on the internal architecture of the different member states as well. So normally the European Council meets 4 times a year in Brussels, and the job of the European Council is to establish the goals of the European Union. It's kind of to give. It provides an impetus. It's kind of a motor of the European. It's an engine of the European policy. So it establishes also the priorities. He also deals with matters of foreign issues of big importance, when there is a crisis, or when there are challenges in different countries. The European Council also deals with these issues, because the High Representative, it's another important personality that I will speak about, is also present. The High Representative for Foreign Policy is also represented and has a seat in the European Council. Then another institution is the Council of the European Union, is made up ministers from the different member states. So the council has a presidency that is rotating. There is a rotating presidency for a period of 6 months.
We can speak for hours.
Currently, there is the German presidency since the 1st of July until the 31st of December, and then from the 1st of January of 2021 there will be the Portuguese presidency. So it's for a 6-month period, sorry, and there are different formations in the council. So the council meets at ministers of agriculture level, at ministers of environment level. So depending on the configuration, the member states send their ministries or their secretaries of state to this particular formation of the council. So currently, as I told you, the High Representative is part of the European Council and is also sharing the Foreign Affairs Council. So currently the High Representative for foreign policy, for foreign affairs is Mr. Josep Borrell. He was Foreign Minister of Spain and is occupying this post since December 2019. So previously it was an Italian lady, Mrs. Mogherini. So the European Commission. So I will now mention the European Commission and to finalize the Court of Justice. There are more institutions, and there is another institution, the Court of Auditors, but I will not elaborate on that. And there are organs also, consultative organs like the Economic and Social Committee and the Committee of Regions. So the European Commission is a key institution. is a key institution because he has the single right of initiative. So the Commission can draw up proposals for new legislation, and as the only institution that has his rights. So this is a very powerful tool that the Commission has. So, and once a proposal for a regulation or for a directive is put forward, of course, a proposal is put forward taking into account different consultations, sometimes taking into account council conclusions that will invite the Commission to put forward some kind of legislation. But it's up to the Commission to propose it, and it's up to the Commission to take into account the general interest, because that proposal will be negotiated by 27 member states. So the 27 member states should feel comfortable with the proposal. So the Commission is appointed for a 5-year term period by each member state appoints one commissioner. So currently there are 27 commissioners, and there is also the president. 27 commissioners, including the president of the European Commission. Currently, the president of the European Commission is a German lady called Ursula von der Leyen. Mrs. von der Leyen was previously Minister of Defense of Germany. So the current Commission took office on the 1st of December 2019, as it was the case for the President of the European Council, which is Mr. Charles Michel, and he was previously Prime Minister of Belgium. So, finally, I will mention the Court of Justice. The Court of Justice is composed by one judge of each member state, and also there are 11 advocates general. So the Court of Justice is located in Luxembourg and has a fundamental role as well in the decision making of the European Union. So the Court of Justice has the role to ensure that the EU law is complied, that the treaties are correctly interpreted and applied. So this is a fundamental. So there are the judgments of the Court of Justice, and then there is jurisprudence that is constituted on the basis of these judgments. So finally, I will. So this is. You will see it's towards the end of my slides. So it's regarding the policy areas that the EU deals with. So you have shared competencies, you have exclusive competence. For instance, an example of exclusive competence in the European structure, in the European framework, is the trade policy. The trade policy is an exclusive competency of the European Union, and it's the European Commission that is in charge of the trade policy. And you have other policies like environment, you have climate as well, you have research, you have energy, you have also the so-called solidarity policies that like the regional policy, like the cohesion policy. Another important policy that since the Lisbon Treaty is under co-decision is the agriculture policy that that takes an important part of the European budget, and it's an important policy that also has some important areas for development, and also contributes to development of other countries. So I would like now to conclude. I hope that we will share with you the presentation, and I wish you all the best in your studies and in your period in the European Union countries. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Paulo Barroso. We appreciate that brief history of the European Union. Great Nigerian students! Great! Great Nigerian students! Great Nigerian students! That's great. Thank you very much.
The long-awaited time for the chief host of this event to take the floor for the welcome speech has come. We apologize again for the technical hitch that made it impossible earlier. I have the pleasure to call on the head of delegation of the European Union to Nigeria and to ECOWAS, Ambassador Ketil Carlson, to come on screen. Your Excellency, please.
Thank you very much, and good morning, everyone. I will follow up on your strict instructions to stand on the existing protocol. Ministers here present.
To all the Erasmus scholars, all 93 successful Erasmus scholars that are with us today, a warm welcome. Of course, to all the National Youth Corps members, it's always for me a wonderful pleasure to be in your company. I worked a lot with you over the years. I've seen your work in the field. I know the service that you provide to your country is exceptional. So it's always an honor for me to be with you. In fact, we have ambassadors for the European Union as well with the National Youth Corps. So truly one of our most genuine and important partners. So it's a real pleasure to be with you. For me, always, this event is one of the most important events of the year. This is the 7th time that I send forth students going to Europe. And I don't think there's anything more important. I put this at par at meeting with the president or ministers or sultans or cardinals, because nothing is more important for the future of Nigeria than the youth. So I'm really glad to be with you. And I hope that, you know, even in spite of sort of this low-tech connection that I'm using today, because I'm in self-isolation, just coming back from Europe myself a couple of days ago, I hope that you can hear me nevertheless. Let me start by quoting a very famous Danish writer. I'm from Denmark myself. She used to live in Africa many years ago. Unfortunately, she's not with us anymore, but she said something very wise. She said, God made the earth round to make it impossible for us to look too far down the road. And I think there's a lot of truth to that. And I think a year ago, just behind me, you may be able to see it, we have the send forth of the Erasmus students of last year, where we were all gathered physically. And I don't think at that point in time, nobody was able to envisage that this year we would be in a situation where we could only meet virtually. So nobody was able to look that far down the road. But the fact that we are here today together with you clearly demonstrates that as the European Union, we will not be deterred by the current COVID-19 situation, and that the EU partnership with Africa, with Nigeria, and with the youth of Nigeria in particular is so important that it cannot be put aside. If anything, the current situation is only making us redoubling our current efforts. You may have seen the work that the European Union is doing together with Nigerian partners in response to the COVID-19 crisis. We were the first ones to step up and meet the challenge, to meet with President Buhari, to provide support, to make sure that a lot of life-saving equipment and masks and usables came to Nigeria in record time, together with the United Nations and others, but we really stepped up to the challenge. And, you know, in a situation like this has made our senior hierarchy, our presidents, our vice president, the people that Paulo just reminded you of before, saying that Africa is a neighbor of Europe. And in a time of crisis is when you know who your friends are. And I think we have demonstrated that. The last visiting commissioner of the European Union to coming to Nigeria said, Nigeria matters. And I've always said since I met with President Buhari the first time that what is good for Nigeria is good for Europe too. And with that spirit, we opted for only looking at strengthening our collaboration and engaging more. And that's why we see today, you know, the selection of 93 Nigerian students. This is more than double the number from last year. It is putting Nigeria at the top spot in Africa. Number one, no other country in Africa has more students going to Europe, and it's putting Nigeria on the world scale at the 6th position, really up there in the top of the list. To engage with Nigeria, as I already mentioned, in response to the COVID-19 crisis, but we continue working as well with all the other issues that we deal with on a day-to-day basis with Nigeria. There's not a single day where we do not have political dialogue, for instance. If you decide to tune in on Channels TV tonight at 5 o'clock, you will see a lively debate. I will be joining myself, I believe, together with President Buhari as well, on the issue of sexual and gender-based violence. We are engaging with Nigerians on that on a day-to-day basis, on democracy building, sending observers to all the elections since 1999, dealing with human rights issues, and working at strengthening and developing the societies. This is a key priority of ours. And so is trade and investment. Europe is the biggest trading partner for Nigeria. We engage on diversifying the economy of this country. I think at times of crisis, again, you see how vulnerable a country is when you're too dependent on one commodity, like the export of oil in the case of Nigeria. So there's never a moment where we rest to see that we diversify the economy, make sure that the links are even tighter between the European Union and Nigeria as well. And we work on development cooperation. Of course, we work on the provision of humanitarian aid, seeking peace and security, whether in the Northeast, in the Northwest, in the Middle Belt, in the Niger Delta, in the Gulf of Guinea, where these situations emerge of insecurity. The European Union is there in the background, solidly partnering with Nigeria to find a way forward, because that is the true role of a partner and a friend. And now, as part of the priority of the current leadership of Europe, seeking digital solutions is a vital priority as well, seeking climate-friendly solutions, and of course, making sure that we have a greener economy in the future as well are key priorities. And you may wonder, why is he mentioning all that in a farewell for students of Nigeria? Well, let me tell you that we call this approach of ours an integrated approach. Political dialogue, development cooperation, trade, cultural engagement, but the centerpiece of that is youth. So you are part of all of these efforts, or even, you know, taking this thought further, there's none of this that will be successful without the Nigerian youth. You are more than 60% of the population in Nigeria. If we are to find, you know, a solid, peaceful, democratic, stable way forward in Nigeria, youth must be the centerpiece of that equation. Hopefully, sooner rather than later, some of you will do virtual, of course, education. Nevertheless, having this kind of engagement is absolutely vital. God may look too far down the road. Looking at your lives, you know that, you know, wander us roads from time to time. And some are smaller, and some are bigger, and some are even life-changing. So when you on a Tuesday have to decide what to eat for lunch or dinner, and you have to select between pounded yam or fufu or something, some other swallow, this is of course of the more light choices that you will encounter, and those will not life-changing. But decide what to study when you move away from your parents for the first time, when you marry, or when you get your first child. These are the life-changing experiences. And I will argue that so is opting for studying in another country. This is a very difficult decision and a life-changing one. And I know what I'm talking about because I've tried it myself. I heard the minister mentioning as well how, traveling and knowing other places, studying in other places changed his life. And I can tell you upfront that I would not be sitting here as the ambassador of the European Union representing some 450 million people had I not opted for what you are opting to do now. And I think I remember, some of the thoughts that I'm sure have crossed your mind as well. I had terrifying moments. I had moments of doubt. I had moments where I regretted even. But in hindsight, this enriched my life in such a way that I would never have wanted to do without it. And I know all these uncertainties are there with you as well. And of course, adding to those uncertainties, the current situation does not make it easier. And I know that there's not a single situation that is the same for all of you. You all have, contact with your individual universities. But let me tell you this, make the most of it no matter what. Take a positive approach. You've been already successful being selected. You have already been within this group of excellence by being selected. And that entails a big responsibility as well. You will represent your country. You must make your country proud of you in however you engage through the Erasmus program. But you will also become part of a wider family, a very exclusive family. I think some 2,542 people have been selected worldwide this year. You are amongst them. Many thousands more wanted to be in your shoes right now. So make the most of that. Make this the life-changing experience that you deserve it to be. Make the most of it. Use that academic excellence that you will gain to come back and contribute not only to yourselves, not only to your dear ones and loved ones, but also to your country. And if you do that, then I'm happy to share my title with you, because then you will become ambassadors just like me of the European Union as well. Because being an ambassador of the European Union to Nigeria is also being an ambassador of Nigeria to Europe. So to all of the national youth, we'll have a very inspiring and rich and engaging dialogue this morning. I will stay with you throughout the day. Thank you very much for being here. I will see you around. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Ambassador Ketil Carlson. I'm sure for that wonderful welcome address and encouraging the youth to continue and to do us proud in the end. God made the earth round to make it impossible for us to look too far. And I hope that is something that we must take away from here. Okay, that's the reason the European Union is doing what it's doing. Thank you very much. At this moment, without much ado, we're going to go ahead and hear more about the European Union Development Cooperation in Nigeria. And that's going to be given to us by the acting head of cooperation and head of section for democracy, governance and migration, Mr. Clément Boutier. If we could have him come on, please. Thank you very much.
First of all, I would like to congratulate those of you who have been selected for the Erasmus scholarship. As mentioned by our ambassador Ketil Carlson in his introduction, Nigeria has been doing great this year, and we even hope to be able to beat this year's record next year. Let me also welcome and thank you all for joining us today. It is really our hope that at the end of the day, some of you will think, why not me next year? 15 years ago, I left my own country to start a one-year Erasmus exchange in Scotland. It's been a wonderful learning experience, not only because of what I learned in the university, but also because of what I learned outside. I learned a new culture, I learned new values, new ideas, and I also learned a lot from students coming from all over the world. You will have this experience too, even if things, unfortunately, are made more complicated because of coronavirus and its impact on international travel. The EU has invested massively to increase the number of African students participating in Erasmus+. The mobility of students, teachers and researchers is also a key area for the new European Union strategy with Africa, which was proposed earlier this year and which will be agreed at the African European Union Summit in October. This strategy is the result of several months of consultation and massive online engagement across the continent, and more particularly with young people. The empowerment of young people in Africa through this Erasmus program will be crucial to build a better and common future between our two continents. Awardees will be able to acquire the skills they need for their future professional life in a wide range of areas, from food to agribusiness to climate-friendly energy transformation. They will do so through innovative learning methods and through a wide range of different courses that they will be attending. But we also strongly believe that the education and training of youth can make a major contribution to socio-economic development, as investment in knowledge, skills and competencies not only benefit individuals, but they benefit societies as a whole. Let me also tell you that such programs not only benefit you and also Nigeria, but are also benefiting our societies and our youth in Europe, who will be learning a lot from you and from your experience. So for those of you who will be traveling, this will be an opportunity to be ambassadors of Nigeria in Europe. Ultimately, exchanging and inspiring one another through this Erasmus program illustrates the mutually beneficial relationship that the European Union and Nigeria have built over the years. Development cooperation was actually one of the first European policy to be implemented, when the European Union was then only made of 6 countries and then called the European Economic Community. We started this cooperation in 1963 with only 18 countries, mostly French-speaking African countries. Today, we are currently negotiating a new 10-year agreement between the European Union and the 79 members of the African, Caribbean and Pacific group of states. So we've come a long way. Nigeria joined this framework in 1975. So in fact, our cooperation is older than most of you and older than me. For close to 44 years, we've been defining together, every 7 years, the main priorities of our cooperation, and we've been allocating funds made available for Nigeria under the European Development Fund. For close to 45 years, we've been defining together, every 7 years, the main priorities of our cooperation, and we've been allocating funds made available for Nigeria under the European Development Fund, which is our main financing instrument. This cooperation is based on a number of core values: human rights, democratic principles, and the rule of law. After a suspension in the 90s, we've resumed our cooperation at the return of civilian rule under President Olusegun Obasanjo in 1999. So every 7 years, we engage with the Nigerian government, civil society organizations, and other key Nigerian stakeholders to decide jointly on the priorities of our cooperation. Today, our objective is to support Nigeria in attaining the Sustainable Development Goals. So under the 11th European Development Fund, from 2014 to 2020, we are focusing on 3 specific areas. The first one is health, nutrition, and resilience. The second one is sustainable energy and access to electricity. And the third one is rule of law, governance, democracy, and migration. Overall, the envelope for cooperation with Nigeria amounts to 612 million euros. At the EU delegation in Nigeria, we are also in charge of the cooperation between the European Union and the economic community of West African states. And so we work with West African countries on a number of key issues that are relevant to them, and these are peace and security, economic integration, and resilience. Let's mention a number of examples to illustrate the richness of our cooperation. For example, we are working very hard to support Nigeria put an end to sexual and gender-based violence. We do this together through raising public awareness, supporting sexual referral assault centers across the country to help the boys, girls, and women who are victims of violence, and we are also supporting the authorities put an end to the impunity for the perpetrators. Since 1999, we've also supporting Nigeria in its effort to deepen its democracy. We work with INEC to organize free, fair, and credible elections, and we engage with political parties, the media, and the National Assembly to facilitate the civic engagement of Nigerian citizens. The EU in Nigeria has also been a strong supporter of the Not Too Young to Run bill and its passage into law. We've also supported INEC in its Youth Votes Count outreach campaign in universities across the country in order to increase the level of youth participation in elections. The EU is also working with the authorities to fight against human trafficking and the smuggling of migrants, helping thousands of Nigerians caught up in awful conditions in Libya to reintegrate into their communities and supporting them so they are able to find jobs. We have also implemented programs to provide electricity in schools and hospitals with solar energy. We've been cooperating to help more people get access to water and sanitation, or we have provided support to help girls go to school. More recently, we have mobilized a significant amount of funding in a very fast manner to support Nigeria's response to the COVID-19 pandemic. I could go on for several more minutes, but I would rather invite you to consult our website and our Twitter account, EU in Nigeria, for more information. The full compendium of our current programs is available online on our website, and I invite you to consult it. In the next few months, the EU is going to embark on a new programming exercise with Nigeria, deciding jointly on the new areas of cooperation for the few years to come. The European Commissioner for International Partnerships, Jutta Urpilainen, wants this partnership with Africa to unleash the power that youth represents. She had asked us in delegation not only to listen to youth, but also to engage with them when it comes to defining priorities and to partner with them in action. This direction applies whether we are talking about peace processes, elections, or when formulating our development work. So I am particularly delighted to share this message with you today. I know that Nigerian youth and students are resourceful. I spent 2 years at the University of Ibadan, and I have been amazed by the dedication of young Nigerians and the energy they mobilize to achieve their goals. So I hope you'll have a great pre-departure event, that you will learn a maximum from it, and for those of you embarking or wishing to embark on this journey, please bear in mind that you will also become ambassadors of the cooperation between Nigeria and the European Union in your own rights. Thank you very much and have a great day.
Thank you very much, Clement, for that insight into the EU development cooperation with Nigeria. And now to us, the youth, and the young ones, the 2020 Erasmus Scholarship Awardees. One word has been echoing through from the beginning by all the speakers. They keep saying that you're ambassadors and that your going and your coming after now would help build and solidify the relationship between Nigeria and the European Union, depending on how we play it. But we know that you're resolute to do the best, okay? Great Nigerian students! Great Nigerian students! Clap, clap, clap. Clap, clap. Thank you very much. At this moment, I encourage you to please relax and enjoy a video of your predecessors. For some of the students that are still currently in Europe, we just chose one or two of their videos because we don't have all the time to spend. So we're going to show you a video of some of the students that have gone ahead of you. Please, let's put that video now. Thank you. Please relax and enjoy.
Erasmus is a great experience. It's linked to unforgettable memories and experiences. As a university student, I've been able to do 2 Erasmus, one in Germany, one in Austria. I also participated in the Erasmus training program regarding youth in action for youth workers. And now I'm doing a 2-month Erasmus internship. I've been offered so many opportunities and offers to even volunteer in an EVS, European Volunteer Service, all around Europe.
Hey guys, I know some of you are going to recognize this face or you've had a conversation with me in the past. Majority, 70 to 80% of you. But I'm going to introduce myself once again. I'm Olajide Akintayo, 2018 Erasmus awardee, studying under the FAME Masters program here in France. It's a good one for you guys, having this PDO event in Abuja. We never had the opportunity for this, but it's a good one that you guys are going to learn from the experiences of my colleagues and I hope it's going to be a good one during the event today for you. I'm going to be sharing 1 or 2 tips and some short clips and some videos alongside. I hope you guys are going to enjoy it. Just go along with me.
And then this is fish. So say pomo. Sorry. Momo, lele, je dis momo. It's not. I'm not saying momo. Momo. Yeah. What letter is that? Yeah. How do you write that? Like, what letter is more? Wait. Is it a bad word? No, that's the name.
It's P-O.
No, I'm not making fun of you. This is it. K, yes. P. What are you doing? So it's K, yes. P, O, M, O.
Puskas is an Hungarian footballer. He was buried right here. He was named after the best yearly FIFA Goal Award that is always given out. Best Goal of the Year award, Ferenc Puskas. We are told he was buried right here. St. Stephen Cathedral, Central Europe, Budapest. It's so beautiful out here. You guys, you need to visit.
Yeah, the building, lovely.
So far the experience has been eye-opening for me. I've studied with students from different countries all over the world. Like for example, in my program, students from all continents are duly represented. Also, I've had the opportunity to work in a French institution, for example, during the year, and been able to have an idea of the French work culture. So I've also been able to improve my French language and proficiency. I knew the level I was before coming to Europe, but right now I'm at an intermediate level and I can converse comfortably in French. So other highlights also are networking with colleagues. I've had the opportunity to taste food from different countries. Like in my program, there is something we do. We call it the food exchange party. So everyone comes together. You cook food from your native food, then you exchange. I've also used the opportunity to cook something from Nigeria. I don't know if you guys can guess, but it's just basically pepper soup chicken. And when they tasted it, I'm sure you guys know the rest of the story. Also, being in Europe has also given me the opportunity to work with the Erasmus Mundus Association. I've worked with people physically and even remotely. I've also had the opportunity to attend leadership training, training events. Here in Europe, I've met other people, even professionals in different fields, was giving one tips on even how to navigate the job market here in Europe. It has been eye-opening for me. Personally, Europe for me, I see Europe as cross-cultural. You can travel easily all around. You can travel like super cheap, albeit proper planning. The cities are really beautiful. The architecture is top notch. Take it from me, it's like super wonderful. I've enjoyed my stay so far in Europe. I've met people from different places. I've learned new perspective based on people's background. So it has been super wonderful for me. And for you guys there, when you come here, in a few weeks' time, I want you guys to be, you'll be free, you'll be open-minded. You should network with people. You should mingle. It's like super important. Also travel, take part in activities outside your education. Understand people's perspective and network. You never know where you could need help in the future. It's like super important. You also learn from others and also share your own experiences too with others. I'm going to be sharing other pictures all along the way. I hope you guys are going to enjoy some of the clips I'm going to be sharing just after this. And I'm going to appeal to you guys, people who are from Nigeria who are coming from behind, try and encourage them, try and, provide mentorship for them in any way or the other. And I think we all shall get to the top. Thank you very much for listening, and do have a wonderful event, guys.
Jolie, jolie, ma chérie t'aime bête de bolide. Je suis dans meilleur club de Paris. Je pars avec ma Ferrari. 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 On va rouler toute la nuit. J'accélère sur la piste comme un stoppé. Je vois qu'elle se pomponne. Elle est taillée comme un poupée. Elle s'accroche tout à moi comme des trombone. Non, 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 c'est elle que je veux, ça y est. Je vais prendre sa défense comme deux saillies. Je m'occupe de tout, j'ai un bon...
Thank you very much, Jide and the other colleagues. Thank you so much. I hope for the incoming award, scholarship award holders, that this is a good insight for what you will both enjoy and everything. This is actually to encourage you. The likes of you have gone ahead. And for those of you who are yet to apply, beginning October this year, when you get the call, please, this is, this plus more are the things that you would enjoy. And we hope that we have been able to give you an insight into what to expect when you're in Europe. Thank you very much. We do not have much time, so we're going to run ahead. We have a panel discussion of people who have gone through the Erasmus scholarship program, completed their studies, came back to Nigeria to apply what they have learned. So we are going to have a panel of discussion. We did, because of the virtual event, we just had to get just only 3 of them, okay? And they'll tell you a little bit about what's happened to them and how they have done and how they have been helped by and how wide their minds have been opened since they came back. So please relax and let's hear what the panelists have to tell us. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Elizabeth Obodo. Until now, I am a lecturer at Salem University, but right now I'm a PhD candidate at Toulouse School of Management in France. I would like the panel members to also introduce themselves, starting from my left-hand side.
Okay. Good morning. My name is Nengak Daniel Gondi. I work at Center for Humanitarian Dialogue as a project officer. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
My name is Idris Akimbajo. I work as the managing editor at Premium Times, Nigeria's leading investigative newspaper. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so in 2 minutes, I would like you to tell me about or tell the audience about your Erasmus experience. Tell us the significant events that happened while you were there. Tell us the negative experience you also encountered, including the different countries that you visited.
Okay, thank you. So in 2011, I got the Erasmus Mundus Africa, Caribbean, and Pacific program, Mundus ACP, and I did my master's in international migration and ethnic relations at the Malmö University, that's in the southern part of Sweden. I would say it was a very amazing experience. There were a few difficulties, but overall, it's probably one of my most amazing memories. I learned a lot and I had a lot of fun. I don't think 2 minutes is going to be enough to say all about it, but I can say for me it was the first experience living outside my country, and then it was also the most challenging academic program that I have ever been through. And coming from Nigeria, where I went to Ahmadu Bello University before that, and the experience between those two universities was just completely different. And learning to adapt and study and still make my good grades and then prepare to return was, for me, a very engaging experience. I made lifelong friends, although we haven't always been able to see each other, but we remain constantly in touch. And I think also I follow the program of the university and also the church that I attended when I was studying there. I still consider myself a member of the church. So for me, it helped me to establish something like a home away from home. Thank you.
Okay. Any challenges you would like to discuss, share with the audience? Any particular challenges that you encountered and how you were able to solve them that you'd like the audience to know about?
Okay, so for me, the most significant challenge I will speak about is language. Sweden is a Swedish-speaking country, obviously, but my program was in English language. So I didn't have any difficulty with my program. So because of that, it wasn't compulsory to learn the language. But living in a society where the community was not speaking the same language with you, and so I had to make a separate effort away from my studies to learn the Swedish language. I had to enroll in a program that was organized by the municipality, and I think at the end of the first of my 2 years, I was already becoming a little bit fluent in the language. But there were a few, the young people in Sweden, they are fluent in English, so if you're meeting young people on the street, you could exchange a few words in English, and then also making friends who are natives, Swedish people, helped me to navigate the system in the country. Thanks.
Interesting. So how do you say good morning in Swedish?
God morgon, hur mår du?
Wow, that's nice. Thank you. All right. Can you please tell us also about your Erasmus experience?
I had my Erasmus Mundus master's program between 2014 and 2016. I had the first year at the Aarhus University in Denmark and the second year at the University of Amsterdam. It was an Erasmus Mundus master's in global journalism, media, and globalization. It was a wonderful experience for me. One of the first interesting experience I had was the day I arrived in Denmark. I flew through Copenhagen, I arrived in Aarhus, but before I arrived, one of the most interesting things about the program was I was in constant communication with essentially one of the administrators of the university, Bettina Anderson, who was always putting me in touch with how I would settle down easily when I arrived. And one of the things that was done was to say, okay, when you arrive, we would ensure that your accommodation is not only ready, but somebody would be at the train station at 7 a.m. to give you your key to your apartment. And the person would take you to your apartment and the rest of it. But then my train arriving in Aarhus was going to arrive at about 1 a.m. And the university offered, okay, why not rent a hotel for the night and then you sleep over? And I said, come on, I'm a Nigerian. If I arrive by 1 a.m., I just need to sleep at the station for 6 hours. I don't have to pay extra dime for that. And at exactly 7 a.m., the lady arrived with the keys, took me to my apartment, and it was, for me, wonderful. But it was a bit surprising to me to say, just for 6 hours, I was requested, somebody suggested that I should go rent a room. So essentially what I experienced in Denmark was an easy life, essentially. It's a society where things work. That's just the summary I could put to it. The buses, the transportation system is efficient, and the university system is virtually excellent. It's totally different compared to what we have here in Nigeria, where professors consider themselves demigods. It's really a very liberal environment, and it was for me a great experience. Same thing with Amsterdam, where I had to cycle for all through my stay there. Overall, I would say it was a great experience for me, and one of the greatest benefits I would say I got from it was that I made lots of friends, many of whom we're still in contact with up till now and are doing very well in their various fields.
Thank you very much. But did you learn the language?
I didn't have to learn Danish. Neither did I have to learn Dutch. Virtually everybody spoke English, although in the supermarkets, a lot of the supermarkets had goods where the labels were only written in Danish, but you could always find yourself, there was the Asian African supermarket, and there were also Lidl and the other supermarkets that sold things that were labeled in English. So overall, I didn't need to learn any of the languages.
All right, thank you. I think you were being spoon-fed when you got to your first mobility. In my own case, when I was to go to Spain, I was lucky to have a flatmate who was also in the same program as me. She offered to come and meet me at the airport, which was very nice of her to have done that. And so it wasn't a difficult thing for me to get to my apartment because somebody was there to take me to the apartment. And the program, first of all, I'll say the first year was very challenging for me and for almost everybody in the program. And at some point, I used to say I broke. I used to think I was very tough. Coming from UNN, University of Nigeria in Nsukka, I thought I was a very tough person until I got there into the program, and everything changed. The program was very overwhelming. There was no time to play around for me. And then at some point, there was a particular day that I wept. I was like, oh my God, what do I do now? Should I go back to my country or what do I do? Okay, so but one thing that kept me going was that, well, if I go back to my country, there was nothing waiting for me there. So I just had to put myself together, gather all my pieces and move on. And then my second mobility was in France, in Paris, and that one was an easy sail for us. We took only a few courses, and we focused more on the thesis. My third mobility was to Canada, where I did my internship. And then I came back to my host university, University of Valencia, Spain. Okay, the program, I did work, organizational, and personnel psychology, and from 2013 to 2015. So, but overall, it was a very nice experience for me, and I think that it kind of shaped who I am today, and I'm grateful to the European Union for giving me that opportunity. Okay, so let's talk about travels, the internal mobility, the external mobility. So maybe you can discuss the internal mobility, things that how you're able to move around, navigate your way within the city, and then you can discuss the external mobility, the transportations that are available, and what the new scholars can also take advantage of. So let me start with you, sir.
In Aarhus in 2014, one easy way to move around was the use of the bus. For a fee, you could buy a monthly tag, or you could load your card, as the case may be. But even before leaving Nigeria, the university official that I'd been in contact with had advised that if you just have your bicycle, you can cycle virtually anywhere in Aarhus.